Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, to the Narcissist Empath series. We are only trying to dissect and determine what causes or what gives us the shades of narcissism and empathy in people, in human beings. So now we talk of Rahu as in the first house as a narcissist, Ketu in the first house as an empath. One whose energy is head-centric dominantly, Rahu amplifies that. So therefore narcissist, Ketu gives detachment, and therefore empath energy is directed towards others. We saw this in the earlier ones also. So in this case, even in the last one, we were between the axis of Virgo and Pisces. Therefore, in the nakshatras of Uttara Bhadrapada, Hasta and Chitra, as empath and narcissist, that's where we are at, right? We already saw the shades of Mercury as an narcissist, Mercury as an empath, and what it leads to: intellectual narcissism. Rahu in Hasta, we are in Hasta, so we put Rahu and Ketu in Hasta and see the combinations thereof, right? Intellectual narcissism, manipulative communication, need for recognition, desperate need for recognition, and difficulty in accepting differing views. Some of these will be common to even Sun, if you noticed. So Hasta, we are in Hasta. And remember, there's an interesting dynamic I want to bring you here, just for a minute. So we are talking about narcissist number 1 as Rahu in Hasta, Ketu in Uttara Bhadrapada on the other side, and Rahu in Hasta and Ketu in Revati. Now you see the blue and the brown bubbles, right? The blue ones are Devganas and brown ones, bubbles, are all Manushaganas, yellow ones being Rakshasa. The interesting dynamic it will play out because Devganas always have an attitude of taking things to a higher plane. They are more superior in intellect, they will take it to a higher plane. It's just by default. They're more conceptual people, all the blue bubbles. Brown ones, on the other hand, are more working on the human plane, Manushaganas. So in this combination, a narcissist and even empath, if you reverse the axis, we will see an interesting combination here. Because Hasta and Revati both are Devganas. So we are on the axis where either side has Devganas, the empath and the narcissist. Keep this in mind as we go along, and even as you see the previous videos. Each video I cover different stuff, and it's just the way it is. So just see the entire playlist to get the overall thing. Rahu as an attachment gives attachment towards romance, towards the creative intelligence, towards children. They're highly creative. The narcissist is highly creative in this area because Rahu is 5th and 9th aspects. It also gives attachment to tradition, laws, rules, procedures. Everything has to be as per this way. And they can even make up their own rules simply because Rahu is unconventional. But here's another interesting thing. Rahu, as much as it is attached to romance, when they get married, Ketu hits. If they get married and come to the 7th house, it creates detachment from the spouse. So these are the funny creatures, narcissists in general. They're so focused on themselves and how attractive they are to this significant other. I'm just talking about one aspect here. And they get hitched, let's say they get married, so now the 7th house is active. But there is Ketu sitting there, so after they get married, they have no attachment. Have you seen such kind of relationships? Probably. This would be one characteristic of narcissist, for example. In any event, let us see now narcissist number 1 and what it brings to us in terms of Hasta. So within Hasta, Rahu plays out like this. First of all, we saw it is an intellectual narcissist because it's Virgo. Virgo is the 6th house. Follow me closely here. Virgo is the sixth house, house of daily work, and its life lesson of Hasta has to become inspired. They are seeking inspiration. This nakshatra speaks to get inspiration, and if they don't, they become very frustrated and critical. This is how Virgo very criticizes a lot in Hasta, in general too. Now Rahu, you bring him to the first house. It brings intellectual narcissism, manipulative communication, very manipulative. Virgo is very clever, very grounded, so you can't fool them. Okay. Need for recognition is high. Difficulty in accepting differing views is high. Rahu is simply amplification, nothing else, folks. So in Hasta, it comes as strong desire for precision and perfection in their endeavors. These individuals may be detail-oriented and strive for excellence. Virgo is hands, Hasta is hands. Virgo is physical aspect of Virgo, doing things with hands. In a daily life example, it would be something like if a person is a guitarist, they would keep on obsessively working towards their playing skills, towards their craft. Hasta is a craft. Analytical skills. They often possess excellent analytical skills. Rahu's influence can enhance their ability to dissect and understand complex issues. This is good. See, this is where I come from. Inherently, there is nothing wrong in any personality. If we understand it, we can work with it better. The problem with this is we have arrived at the age of empaths, so they are stronger in making the other, in narcissists, realize stuff. I can bet anything, most of the people watching this channel, subscribers, are empaths. They need to understand. Narcissist is really interested in understanding. Ambition and craftsmanship. Craftsmanship, one coffee, folks. Hasta is linked to craftsmanship and skills, like I said, hands. Rahu here may drive individuals to excel in the chosen craft, whatever it is. Handsy stuff. It may be even computer work. It may be even coding. Could be any one of them. It can be even sculpture, painting, arts, playing musical instruments. Everything requires hands, hand skills. This person may be obsessive compulsive about it, right? Developing that. Even doing higher learning on that. Getting higher degrees because Rahu is attached. Material success. They may have a strong desire for material success. Duh. Rahu in first house always gives that. Manipulative tendencies become high in Hasta. Please bear this in mind. These guys can be very good manipulators because Ketu brings that wisdom of others. Jupiter sitting in the house of Pisces, opposite side. From past lives to them. Ketu, wherever it sits, is bringing past life to the Rahu. Therefore, it becomes very expansive. Okay? Please understand this. So this narcissist is kind of a clever person. Rahu shenanigans are always there. But let's see what Ketu is doing at the same time in Uttara Bhadrapada. Ketu in Uttara Bhadrapada here in the 7th place. We're talking about narcissist number 1, right? So that guy, Ketu is sitting in Uttara Bhadrapada, this guy. What does it give? It gives this person, narcissist, although he may be, it gives them visionary thinking. They bring that strong sense of visionary thinking from their past lives because Ketu is conquered territory. Although he is in the Rahu mode in Hasta on one side in the head, it does bring him this talent. It does bring them to interest in mysticism and occult. Uttara Bhadrapada is ruled by Sheshnag, Ahirbuddhyana, the water serpent of the deep. So there is definitely occult there. Interest. They may explore hidden truths and mystical concepts, metaphysical concepts. Desire for transformation. Yes, that is definitely there. Strong desire for purpose. That is definitely there. So because it is an emotional sign, because it is in a Pisces sign, they have brought forward in this life an emotional higher intelligence, high degree of emotional intelligence from external beings, because this is Ketu we are talking about. They have brought it already. they have is inside them. And because Rahu is in Hasta, they can end up becoming serious narcissists who can really manipulate people if they are not careful. Now let's briefly talk of narcissist number 2. So the only variant, Rahu is still in Hasta, so we won't get there. We've already spoken of this. Ketu in Revati, being a Devgana, like I spoke of, what does it provide? Revati is a Devgana. So here, as I see it, it brings more imagination and creativity. They tend to have strong imagination and creative ability. Ketu in Revati individuals often find solace and inspiration in artistic pursuits and imaginative endeavors. These ones with Rahu in Hasta and Ketu in Revati will become the most famous guitarists, most famous musicians, because they are so centered in their craft. You have to understand there's a positive side to everything. All the narcissists, all the empaths belong in this world, don't they? There's a reason why these things are there, aren't they? Compassion and empathy. They often possess deep compassion and empathy. Well, we are not going into this now because it's not in the first house, it's in the 7th house. I would imagine imagination and creativity is very high. Interest in spirituality, yes. So they have a sense of completion because Revati is the end of a whole cycle of zodiac, end of Pisces. So we are essentially talking the tug of war between 6 and 12, isn't it? Let's see the empath part of it. So empath number 1 moves from Hasta to Uttara Bhadrapada. Now we reverse the axis. And empath number 2, on the other hand, moves to Revati. So let's just see the characteristics and get on with it, shall we? Hasta. I would think Ketu in Hasta will bring these forward. Simplicity and minimalism, because Ketu is a reductionist. It reduces things. These individuals often embrace simpler and more minimalistic lifestyle, valuing essentials and authenticity over material excesses. See that? Because Ketu is detachment from there. Rahu was attachment. Interest in healing. Ketu in Hasta can bestow an interesting hands-on healing. Hasta is hands. These people are the ones who can become theta healers, Reiki practitioners, massage therapists, of our world. They might have a strong Ketu in the first house in Hasta. May have, particularly in the realm of physical well-being. They may have a natural inclination towards alternative healing practices. Ketu is everything alternative spirituality. Think of this. Quest for self-improvement. They may have a strong quest for self-improvement and personal development, and that's what they would love to bring for others. Let's see what Rahu is doing in the other 2 houses now for this empath, number 1 and 2. So with Ketu in Hasta and Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada and Revati, what does it bring? If Rahu is here, it gives innovative and visionary thinking towards others. Now Rahu is in the 7th house. Remember that. Interest in spiritual and metaphysical matters. See, Uttara Bhadrapada is associated with mystical knowledge. It can intensify. Also, I would say finding emotional connect with external beings being their life lesson, Rahu can help in fulfilling this. So this kind of empath, who's Hasta Ketu, and Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada, should probably become an emotional counselor of some kind. People who focus on healing emotions, maybe even a counselor of some kind. See, there is a counselor energy here. Scholarly counselors needing fame, especially Rahu in the 7th house, needs fame. Share knowledge with the public, that's one of their life lessons. They are interested in mysticism and occult. And Ketu being in the 1st house will assist here deeply. Let's see what it brings in Revati, because that's the Devgana now. So with Rahu in Hasta and Ketu in Hasta and Rahu in Revati, more dreaminess and imaginative. These people can highly dreamy people. Desire for spiritual exploration of others, compassion and empathy. These people, Ketu in Hasta, living a very simple, minimalistic lifestyle, as an empath does, focused more on compassion and empathy of others, can get a little lost really, because the desire is to get lost. It's in Pisces and in Devgana. So sensitivity to arts. These are the people who can make artful channeled paintings. For example, Revati is associated with creativity in arts. Therefore, it brings the artistic expression towards others. Loves to create for others. Good paintings. Desire for completion. Since this is the last pada, Rahu wants to be complete. He wants to be done with the stuff. Okay? So that, folks, is my little take on it. Reflect on it. Use the screenshots. Picture is worth 1,000 words, 1,000,000 words here. Okay? Take care, be safe. I'll see you in the next.